Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Pilates princess herself, Sandy Reevy.
Stretch 1, 2. Yeah.
And it is episode 194, April 11th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have a big week, Tuesday, April 12th, Jupiter conjunct Neptune,
This is a big deal. Both rulers together again.
and Sun sextile Saturn.
Two strong forces.
Then Thursday, April 14th, Mars ingress Pisces.
Night charts rejoice.
Saturday, April 16th, full moon in Libra.
Arrange an intense union.
And to wrap up with two transits on Sunday, April 17th, Mercury sextile Venus
She has the first and the last word.
and Mercury conjunct Uranus.
Surprise news. It's Easter.
And it is in the Talisman Time. Sandy has finished up to ask for favors in order to advance and to harmonize an important relationship. Then we have special talisman offers coming up at the end of this month. On the horizon, we have some new announcements we want to make, as well as our Purple Rain talisman ceremony is ready and waiting for you for download. And our Jupiter conjunct Neptune happening April 13th. So, also in our house, we wanted to announce two very exciting things that are happening. So, stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
And so you finally know you control where you go.
Hello, Pilates princess.
It's true. I went and I'm sore. And you don't do that many repetitions. But oh my gosh, for the first time ever, I did make some stretches. So I'm liking it for now.
Yay! It is really exciting. I've never tried Pilates, but you know, maybe one day you'll invite me over there and I can try it out.
Yeah, it's right up the street. So it's super, super. I was listening to some people are like, well, it takes me 25 minutes to get here. I got to take a train. And then I'm like, oh my God, you must be really dedicated to this Pilates stuff. Uh, it's taken me this many years to just walk 2 blocks.
Right.
So um, lucky me.
So I want to go direct to all of you listeners. Thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is our soul food. Just this past week, we finished up our live recording of the Purple Rain Talisman webinar. That was for the Jupiter conjunct Neptune that we're experiencing this week. And Linda actually responded back after I got her the e-packet, which includes her worksheet, her charts, her personalized 10-minute video from you, Sandy. And then also you did a very special card pull, an oracle pull.
Right. Yeah. From a deck that Colette Baron Reed gifted me some years ago. And I pulled the card for everyone while I was doing the live recording.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
took a picture of it and sent it in as in the packet. So everybody had a oracle's message.
So I wanted to just share what Linda wrote to us regarding her e-packet. She goes, "Wow, thank you. I'm looking so forward to tomorrow's time together. The hummingbird, which is the card you pulled, is very significant to me. Here is something I wrote this week to an author I follow and am inspired by, Sarah Blondin. I'm actually missing her workshop today in order to attend your event. So synchronicity is totally in the air." And then she goes on to sharing her message about the hummingbird. It's absolutely beautiful. So I want to share this with everyone next week.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. She says, so love and appreciate you both and look forward to our next planet starshine. Heading to bed late, listening to the purple rain. Much love and moonshine. Moonshine is two different words. It's not the alcoholic moonshine, you might know.
No, because the moon is bright in your window these days if when you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite a full moon, but it's gaining light.
Right. So let's get into the transits. This is going to be a bigger week.
Mhm.
But we start off with the transit that we've been waiting for and anticipating for a very long time. And that is the Jupiter conjunct Neptune on Tuesday, April 12th.
Yeah, this was my astro interesting transit aspect of the year. Dun, da, da, dun.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is when both rulers are together again at the same degree in a sign Pisces that they both rule.
Mhm.
Modern is Neptune. Neptune was only discovered, 200-ish years ago, and Jupiter has been the traditional ruler of Pisces. So, yeah, granted, they meet up every 13 years. However, they meet up every 166 years uh, in this sign of Pisces. So we really, really, really are alive here to do some deep, compassionate healing work, some deep, compassionate imagination, and some really creative inspiration work. And so, you know, really, this is the placement to get all of that done. And it's just been such a big week. It's we can ask for the wave of dissolvement, of disillusion, of forgiveness, of spiritual washing, and then we can actually swim in it. We can enjoy it. We cry,
Mhm.
we weep, we can release, we can ooze. We can think about both sides of the tears, right? The polarity of why we cry. That is really truly what you care about,
Mhm.
right? When you can
And even
when
if we're crying, because something's so beautiful or
yeah,
because we're laughing so hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the other side of tears, right? The
Mhm.
sad and then the happy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so that same day, we also have another transit, Sun sextile Saturn.
Two strong forces are in an aspect to one another, and Sun is exalted in Aries and making a sextile, a nice aspect, a opportunistic aspect to Saturn in his own sign of Aquarius, and so they can work together here. Um, it really interesting because where they're placed, they're strong in their own placements, but they are Sun is in detriment where Saturn is in Aquarius, and Saturn is in fall where the sun is. So literally, if they stay in their own lanes and not try to, when I say work together, it's like you bring your goods and I'll bring my goods, and we'll see if you have an onion and I have a pepper, right? It's like,
Mhm.
but we're not going to make an onion pepper. What would that be? Unpepper. It's not like combining things for a finished product. It's you do what you do right, and I do what I do right, and we can combine and make something really, really great for that. But we
Right.
really need to believe in each other and each other's vulnerability in order to make that happen. So,
Mm.
I've got some dates here that maybe when the sun squares Saturn on May 15th, mark this in your calendars. You may disagree about what the topics are that show up around here. What we're talking about is April 12th. So, whatever starts to come together, there may be in a disagreement May 15th, but then there's a final agreement on June 16th when they both trine one another. So,
Okay.
you know, make note of that in your calendars to watch something come back up in a uh, we're working on something, it becomes a little bit tense, and then it all works out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's, a part of that whole process. And especially with the sun and Saturn, they're kind of like wanting to have control and maintain.
Yeah.
Those are gonna clash a little.
Well, it's
So
interesting because I want to talk about a little bit of the music that I was listening to when on this day when I was writing,
mhm,
last month for this week. Um, and had asked for some music to play. What came up at this writing period was wasted days. So it's like to watch our life fade away to more wasted days. how many promises are met, and who is worth our time. So interesting that that
Mm.
song from John Mellencamp came up as I was writing, the Jupiter Neptune about, that big inspiration of, healing and forgiving and washing away, crying for whatever reason. And the sun making a sextile to Saturn can really be strong forces that are working together because they're in a sextile. So I
Yeah.
like that combination with that song. It just happened, it was next up, on
Right.
the
Right.
call.
And anyone that does have the astrology cheat sheet for the month of April, you'll be able to see all of the songs that kind of synchronistically fit
Yeah,
in as you were writing the whole
yeah,
month.
yeah.
So let's move on to Thursday, April 14th. That is Mars ingress Pisces. And
Right.
I know he's not comfortable here.
For night charts, he's good. This happens at 10 o'clock at night, so it may be good to rest. It's good to like lay down and maybe get into some sleep. But night charts rejoice. And what do I mean by that? The Mars is in triplicity rulership in this water signs, only in a night chart. So this means that the action manager, Mars, um, is in harmony with others. So they can make pacts, they can make deals. They're working towards maybe common goal. Maybe there's a charitable or again, goes into Pisces. So it's going to meet up with all the Pisces planets that are welcoming Mars to actually maybe do some cleanup, right,
Mhm.
in their house of forgiveness. So, day charts, not as action packed. In fact, maybe day charts like you and I have to be aware a little bit of victimization or savior sainthood,
Mm.
because we should really lean more into intuition versus trying to do something because um, it's required of us, or we want to do it because we want something on the other side. If we can do it very selflessly,
Right.
that we are offering our true heart and our true
Right.
meaning.
And that brings me like the word of like conditioned actions, saying I will do this with the expectation that this is then provided for me or reciprocated or, kind of loving conditionally.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's always something good to look out for. So
And the
Saturday,
song that the song that came up here was Chasing Rainbows.
hmm. And
Yeah.
what's is that a John Mellencamp song too?
Yeah, it's right after Wasted Days because, this is the next thing I was writing. Um, that this world of make believe we all believe is true. Take the love with you. Turns out it's not just somewhere. So look around us everywhere for anyone that cares at the end of the rainbow.
It seems like a lot of his songs have to do with relationship. Not necessarily just like love relationship, but like close, committed friendships, family,
And
healthy relationships.
this is his new album. So it may be that he's also doing some retrospective considerations too of, looking back over the years. Um,
Yeah, on his life. And do you remember how old he is?
yeah, he's older than me, so he's might be up there to 69,
70?
70.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so let's move on to Saturday, April 16th, the full moon at 26 degrees of Libra.
Yeah, and it sits with Spica. Spica is a really nice sustaining life, food, agriculture. Um, it's the wheat shaft.
Mm,
It's um, the the benefits of the earth, right? It's the harvest, it's the benefits of the earth. So something that can sustain you and into it and arrange an intense union. The full moon, it's a full moon. That means the sun is in Aries, ruled by Mars. I want you to picture this.
mhm,
So the again, the sun is in Aries, ruled by
right.
Mars. opposing the moon in Libra,
Ruled by Venus.
ruled by Venus. And in the sky, these two are together.
Ah,
Yeah,
where?
in Pisces,
Okay.
where Venus is exalted. So, Venus in Pisces, yet the day before, welcomed Mars to her place of exaltation. So he needs to be amicable
Mhm.
as her guest. So it could be that this full moon, can release and forgive, let go of ego, change what is or has been between you two.
Mhm.
There is this full moon square Pluto. There's a Plutonian energy that's squaring, and that's why to an arrange an intense union can either connect or disconnect. It reminds me of the new Netflix show Ultimatum. Like, right? It's
Mhm.
like
You
either
either
let's
commit or you
either
don't.
either let's go or let's be off on our own.
Mhm.
So but it'll be sustaining. It'll be more sustainable than being in a this is working. This is good. This is okay kind of
Okay.
relationship. So
Right.
interesting that the song that showed up this day was "A Life Full of Rain." I'm not I'm not wanted here. I've no place to go. Skies never clear. Hear the thunder. That means trouble. Ask for forgiveness. Go into shadows. No dry spot to stay. He once loved you. So it is this like very compassionate, like
Mhm.
vulnerable place where it says, okay, we got to take a look at this.
Right,
It has to
and a hard look.
change.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
then we wrap up the week with 2 transits on Sunday, April 17th. The first, Mercury sextile Venus.
she has the first and last word. And what I mean by that is, let's think about this. Mercury is in Taurus, ruled by
Ruled
Venus,
by Venus.
making a nice connection to Venus in Pisces, her exaltation.
Ruled
So
by
Venus
Jupiter
gets to
and
set the
Neptune.
discussion top, huh?
Ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. I thought
Right.
you were gonna ask me that.
Oh. Well, I mean, just the fact that she's in her exaltation, we could stop right there. But we could
Mhm.
add, the ruler of that is sitting with her in that same sign. So
Mm.
it really is about love and happiness. And this is Easter. So, be with your kids. Um, this is a celebration. Be with family. Have a lot of kids running around in their Easter outfits, uh, coloring eggs and, popping in jelly beans, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a nice consideration of, you know, playfulness and niciness and, again, love and happiness. She gets to set the discussion. And interesting, the I guess the new album of Mellencamp was over. I,
Mm.
I didn't know even had a new album, but that album was over. And when I was writing this Easter, it popped to Tequila Sunrise.
By who?
Well, who is that? The Beach Boys or something? Or not the Beach Boys, but oh,
I'm gonna
who's
find
the
out.
parrot guy? The parrot guy.
Oh, Tequila Sunrise.
Tequila Sunrise. He's the one that always sings about drinking in Florida. Oh my God, I don't know why I can't remember his name. Um, just another Tequila Sunrise.
The Eagles? It's by the Eagles?
Oh, the Eagles.
You were thinking about Margaritaville.
Jimmy Buffett. I was thinking about Jimmy Buffett. Yeah.
Okay, but this
No,
one's
but
the
it's the
Eagles.
Eagles. Oh my God, of course. I went to see their concert years ago. So I thought that funny because to pop to on Easter Sunday when, the sun is risen and God and Jesus has risen from
Mhm.
his tomb, that we got Tequila Sunrise. How funny is that? And then we go that same day to
Mercury
that
conjunct Uranus.
Mercury conjunct Uranus. So this is kind of surprise news. Um, and we have to take into consideration that this Mercury is out of the beams of the sun. So this is information that should be out on the airwaves. You know, this should be something that we're all hearing
Mm,
on this day, because this news is super important, and it may reveal what has been in discussion for weeks or maybe even months. There's like a fast and changing, even though the field is fixed, which is, earthy slow. But this has um, I mean, I hope this isn't really more like, I don't know, an earthquake or uh, some sort of separation of some fault lines or something. But it maybe it's just unexpected news, surprise news. It'll be super important. It'll be maybe shocking, but I don't know that it's good or bad. It's just news.
okay. Hmm. All right. We will anticipate that. So let's move on to talisman times. You have finished up 2 talismans. The first was Tuesday, April 5th, to ask for favors in order to advance.
Yeah, this was a nice one. I deserve my reward now. I ask for them politely, firmly, and am given them. I have earned each and every one.
Mhm.
So this is a sun. This is a crescent moon with the sun in exaltation, being the ruler of the chart, right up on that midheaven line. So there is a favorable aspect that you can ask for, maybe a raise or a new title or more time off, or you could ask for a credit card increase or something. There's something
Mhm.
about getting a favor from an important authority figure because they see you as one.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, there's no harm in asking, is there?
There's
So the next talisman time you finished was Friday, April 8th, to harmonize an important relationship.
actually that one sold.
Okay.
It actually sold before I actually made it for a party event
So
that,
pre-sale.
yeah, that is going to a bride for like a weekend that I'm doing a little event on. So that one is gone. Yeah.
Okay. And then we have 2 upcoming special talisman offers. And what these mean is we have a selection of canes, we have whatever talisman style you're looking for. You just pick your date and time of when this talisman is happening. And if you want to talk about um, why you picked these 2 dates, Friday, April 22nd and Wednesday, April 27th.
Yeah. And there's a lot of dates in that time period.
Okay.
And they start at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
There's like a 4 o'clock, a 4:30, a 10 a.m., 10:30, and then and those are all mornings. And like I said, early to 10 a.m. And then we start the 26th about 10 a.m. And then we go to the 27th at 4 a.m. So there is going to be about 6 different time frames that I'm going to be putting together. And it's all about Venus and Jupiter together, the two benefics in their preferred placement, joining together.
Hmm,
Um, really, really nice to have this happen coming up over the horizon or at the top of the chart. And that's why, the Pisces is coming up at, you know, Pisces is coming up at 4 o'clock in the morning these days, the sign.
mhm.
So that's why there's these early, and I know I'm doing some personal talismans right now. And they're like 4 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, that's when Pisces is coming up over the horizon this time of the year. So we have to grab that when Venus and Jupiter are coming up, over the horizon, which makes it the talisman wearers energy.
Mhm.
It's the
And that's
birth
not
of the
so
thing.
bad. Yeah. You go
I
to
mean,
bed a
come on,
few
get up
hours
for a
earlier.
You get up
Right.
for a purpose, right?
Right. And so, also, don't forget, we have our Talisman of the Month, which is to make a positive influence on others. This is at a special price and is only available at that price for the remainder of the month. And once it is sold, it is gone for good. So, to make a positive influence on others, if that sounds like a talisman for you, head over using that link in the description. So let's move on the horizon. I first want to share that next week you'll be hearing a little bit different intro music to our podcast.
Not that we needed new. You recorded that years ago,
Hmm.
to help out, our music
Right.
intro and outro. And we finally have made a deal actually with our one of our new music friends and songwriters,
Hmm.
and performers. We know the band and we follow them around, kind of like a 66-year-old groupie.
Right. But yeah, we proposed using one of our favorite songs on the podcast, and it was supported, and we are in the works to get that going and recorded for next week. So
You're not going to tell them. You're gonna make them wait.
yeah, we're gonna make a mate, and then we're gonna talk about it more in the next episode. So um continuing on the horizon, our Purple Rain Talisman webinar is ready and waiting for you for download. We did make just a couple more of the talisman beads, so if you are interested in any of those, make sure to click that link in the description and join in. It was an incredible
Yeah.
webinar. I mean, I we do get lots of compliments after we do these types of things. However, this one was, I think, the most impactful.
Mhm.
It's a really interesting time with that Jupiter conjunct Neptune that we were talking about before that's happening this week, and it just touched people. Everyone was flowing with tears and flowing with their dreams and visions, and really it was a time to dream big and kind
Mhm.
of expand the waters and calm the turbulent ones.
Mhm.
um, so we would love to have you join in. It is recorded and ready for download, and Sandy would get you your worksheets, your chart, and personal video shortly thereafter.
Mhm.
So, also April 13th, that's coming up this Wednesday, we have our Jupiter conjunct Neptune. This is the Chatting with the Stars astrology webinar that we're going to be talking much more about the basics of what this is. And also, Susan is joining us where she's going to give her kind of financial look at what is going on with this event. So, of course, link in the description. It's $25. However, if you wanted to personalize it to see where this transit is going on in your own chart, you add $5 to that and we get you all that information. So, May 14th through the 20th, I will be hosting the 7-day challenge. This is a free event. I am planning on introducing some cool meditations and some different practices on using your talisman and affirming your affirmations. So, of course, join us. I would love to have you.
No, join
And
you. It's pretty cool.
join
Would
me
you?
and the people who join. I mean,
Right,
it's
right.
and that's kind of what we were talking about during our past webinar is that, we wind up being the facilitators. However, the people that join and be a part of it,
Sure.
that they're the ones too that kind of create these incredibly intimate and supportive circles that wouldn't be possible without them.
Mhm. No, I agree.
Yeah.
In fact, um, when I couldn't run it because I'm ending up going to Greece, and you're like, "I'm gonna do it by myself." I was like, "Cool, okay."
Right?
which
That's what
reminds
that's
me
what
of
you said when I couldn't go to and help you on the Mexico retreat. You're like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it on my own."
right. It's interesting. And then even next week, we'll talk about that in our house. We had planned to do something together, and you're like, "Yeah, I can't go." I go, "Okay, well, I'm going to go out. I'm going to do it on my own."
Right? So, yeah, it's we're so independent. We're these, like, really wonderfully independent women doing it all. So, so yeah, let's move into our house because we have 2 really exciting announcements. I did kind of spoil one of them by talking about our new intro song, um, before, but, that is one of the very special announcements. We've been kind of, like, toying around with the idea of how are we gonna, should I record something new? How do we want to, um, liven up the podcast intros? And we went out to a concert and we had so much fun. That was like one of the first concerts back out of, the very long COVID time that we've been sheltered in. And it felt right. We asked the band, they agreed, and here we are. It's coming up next week.
Yeah, which was actually has always been on my desire list,
Right, on your wish list, yeah.
wish list, because I like the song so much.
And so our second exciting announcement is I have been behind the scenes working on a a tool on the website to help people find the perfect talisman for them. This is a kind of quiz that I've worked closely with Sandy and also our developers to figure out how this is going to work. And basically, we ask you some questions, what is your intention? We ask your birthday, we ask all of these different things and match you with your top 10, mainly your top 3, but if you wanted more search results, you can get up to top 10 of your matched talismans. Um, we're so excited. This is
It's like
happening very
magic.
soon.
Yeah,
Right. Because
yeah.
that is one of the biggest things that that I get asked, and requested for is I want a talisman, I just don't know which one. And usually I send them over to you and that's when you pretty much you look at all of the talismans that are around, you look at their chart and you select them. So we used all of those means, all of those, reasons why you select those talismans and we put it into a quiz form. And
Mm,
so
woo.
exciting. Just like kind of like working with the technology aspect of it has been very interesting and, trying to figure out what's top priority, going through all of these different things, this process on, creating this tool. And I know that I'm not going to stop working on it. Right now, we're really focused on the sun signs, but I want to be integrating more into like the moon signs and the rising and asking much more complex and really interesting questions. Because I think this is, the future of how our website is going to be working and helping people find their talisman, as opposed to searching and searching and searching and searching through all of the talismans that we have. Um,
Yeah. And I think that's so um synchronistic because what we talked about on Easter, we get that Mercury conjunct Uranus, which really is about innovative ideas or website or marketing or sales or trade, kind of using that Uranus
mhm.
of Mercury conjunct Uranus. So it is kind of this surprise, what surprise in Mercury coming out of the beams of the sun on that day, which is like something that has been being worked on for weeks or months, now comes out into the clear blue sky. We can actually see it.
Mhm.
It's no longer hidden, if you will.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a time. Can you target that day, please? Maybe on Monday. On Monday, the 18th.
We can work on that.
Can you
I'll
target?
see.
I'm gonna write that
I
down.
will see.
Yeah.
That will be
Yeah.
my bullseye. We'll see if I can get that. Um, And also, I wanted to make a personal announcement that for the last couple of weeks, I have been juggling both my intention beads work as well as my nurse practitioner side, where I've been caring and taking care of my boyfriend who is in need of back surgery. Um,
Yeah,
it
lumbar
was
spine. Yeah,
it
lumbar.
was it was a tough first week where he really couldn't walk, um, or do pretty much anything. Now that we've gotten a lot of his pain managed and the inflammation down, he's able to move a little bit better, but all of the doctors that we consulted, the orthopedic surgeons, the neurosurgeons, they're all recommending and highly suggesting that we go ahead and do this back surgery. It is happening on Wednesday. So just as a note, if I am unavailable on email or anything like that, you will know what where my priorities are at the moment. But I've really received so much support from you all, and I thank you. Um, because right, it's not easy. It's not easy to take care of somebody in pain because you want to take the pain away, but you can't. So you do whatever you can to keep them comfortable, to keep them feeling loved and supported and understood to a little, to a minor degree, because sometimes the pain would be up to a 9 or a 10 and we were wondering, is this emergency room time? So, you know,
Big
um
big decisions time. Not easy. Not easy for you, not easy for him, not
right.
easy for anyone.
Right. So, but we've been visioning, we've been really, being intentional with what the surgery is going to mean. And that's going to mean that he is out of pain, which has been, kind of a 7 year um stretch for him. Back when he first herniated his L3, L4, that was 7 years ago. And
Mm.
now that this other um, more drastic herniation has happened, this is the time to fix it. So I appreciate you all for your emails and your well wishes. It's been awesome because when I get supported, I get to support him more.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
So yeah. Um, But yeah, so next week, I'm excited to give an update, um, you know, send more good news on what's been going on with the podcast song, with the quiz, with my boyfriend's back surgery. So for right now, those are all of the updates we have. And I greatly appreciate you all for listening into this podcast, to sending your love, giving your support by listening in.
And I'll be there in spirit, and because of that, we've had to make a change, and I'll be probably coming, to our next podcast, maybe on the road from, because 'cause I'm now having to do my drive from Boothbay Harbor, Maine to Kentucky to deliver, some, storage room items,
Precious cargo.
that, I'll be doing it solo now. So
Mhm.
maybe we'll do our next podcast while I'm driving and I don't know, somewhere.
We'll see
Probably
how that can go. We'll experiment. That's what we're here for. Making it work and keeping
yeah.
keeping everyone attuned to what's going on.
But good luck, and lots of love to Rocco. I'm sure
Mhm.
it's a plus day for surgery. So
And
well,
we consulted you to figure out, even before we had a date, set, we reached out to you to figure out, okay, what are our no dates and what are our maybes and yeses.
yeah.
So it's been really helpful to have that, all those dates laid out so that I feel, very empowered for when we did set this date. Um, all the support, all of that is so helpful. Thank you, Mom. Um, but that is a wrap on our episode today. Thank you everybody for listening in. Per usual, send in your 5-star reviews, all of that feedback, and we will talk to you next week. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye now.
And so you finally know you control where you go.